4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we should be live now.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
I have no idea what was going on there.
It happens.
Oh.
All right. Wait for your mic to stabilize there. Okay. All right. So the topic on the table is a vested interest in a topic for 10 years minimum before getting a tattoo related to it. Also known as the 10-year rule, which apparently is a thing on Red versus Blue, but I did not know that until today when my brother played the video after he heard about what the topic was going to be. I first became aware of it listening to a podcast years ago. Some of my podcasting fellows were at Dragon Con, and they were talking about seeing people walking around with Firefly tattoos. And at the time, Firefly was about 3-4 years old, I think, at that point. Firefly came out in 2004, right? I'm trying to...
Yes, 2004. It was canceled in 2005.
Yeah, and they were seeing people walking around that already had Firefly tattoos, and some of the people, and it was sort of a round table with a bunch of podcasters, and one in particular, my friend Violet actually said that it was just really too soon for that kind of thing. That was where I first became aware of the 10-year rule. I should say, before some doofus in the comments starts accusing me of censorship, this is only my opinion. And even if I had the power to make that a law that you had to wait 10 years before getting a tattoo for something, how the hell would I enforce that? I'm pretty sure that would be unconstitutional anyway.
Right. Oh my God.
I consider this more advice.
Nor is it censorship of First Amendments or anything like that. We're just... So, Brian, do you have any tattoos?
No. There's been a couple that I've been wanting to get, but I never have the money for it.
They are expensive. Oh my God, they're so expensive.
I mean, that's one reason right there. And I'd say getting tattoos for a hot band is probably a bad idea because you don't know if they're still going to be around in 10 years. You don't know if you're still going to like them in 10 years. I mean, it's like, I love Florence and the Machine. I imagine there are some people who are tired of hearing me talk about Florence and the Machine. I named the chapters in my Voyager fic after lyrics from a Florence and the Machine song. I would not get a Florence and the Machine tattoo right now, though, because I largely only became familiar with her in the past, I want to say 4 or 5 years, in large part thanks to Tara from What the Fuck Is Wrong With You. I mean, I'd like to imagine I'd still like Florence in 10 years, but still, I think it's just generally a good idea. Now, granted, there's always room for something to go wrong. I mean, if you waited 10 years after the Cosby Show was over to get a Bill Cosby tattoo, you're still going to be kind of pissed off right now.
There are,
or God forbid, 12 years ago, you just
people with Bill Cosby tattoos.
Or God forbid, 12 years ago, you decided to get a tattoo of your favorite metal band, ISIS.
So
mean, there's always an opportunity for something to make you regret the tattoo. But it will be exponentially less likely if you give it a little time. That's all I'm suggesting. I'm definitely not anti-tattoo, and I am so annoyed at people who pass judgment on other people for having tattoos, or people who think that who see your tattoos as an invitation to chat with you, even if you have headphones on and you're reading a book on the bus.
Dudes think visible tattoos are an invitation to touch me, and I am not okay with that, because one of my tattoos is a big angel across my back, but the thing is, it's actually the cover of my friend's band, who I haven't listened to in 10 years, but I have zero regret because that is a badass tattoo. I actually have 3 band related tattoos. The Alanis Morissette one, I have an Alanis lyric, and although I wasn't into that particular lyric 10 years, I have been into Alanis Morissette since I was 14 years old.
Did you get the tattoo ironically?
No.
Sorry, I could. You mentioned Alanis. I had to get that in. All right.
So, and then I have another tattoo of a different friend's band that I haven't listened to in like 10 years that I'm probably going to get that one covered up because I'm just not a huge fan in the tattoo in general. Like, it's just not a good tattoo. It's not even just the subject matter. It's just a bad tattoo. But I can think of several situations where it is appropriate to get a tattoo immediately. For example, if you're in the armed forces, a lot of times people are only in for 2, 4, 6 years and they still get tattoos while they're in there.
Oh, like their unit logo, that kind of thing?
Yeah, or just anything related to the armed forces. Children tattoos, and memorial tattoos.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I don't think you should have to wait 10 years because they're still going to be dead.
This is true.
So for me, like, my tattoos kind of tell a story. It's super fun. You can see what I've been into in my life, what I've enjoyed. Like, some are really happy and some are really dark and sad and some are fun. And that's just kind of who I am. And I have one of my tattoos is actually undercover. It's a birth date of someone who used to be my best friend. And while I still love her very much and very dearly, we now talk maybe 5 times a year. I don't regret that tattoo at all because for several years we were inseparable. And I have so many happy memories with her that sometimes looking at that tattoo, I'm like, oh, I should call her. We haven't spoken in a while. But I wasn't friends with her for 10 years when I got the tattoo. So I don't know. Like, I have cover-ups too. I have tattoos in line to get cover-ups. I got this one on a whimsy this summer. It's a lightsaber.
Yeah. You held that one up during the our Star Wars debate, although the picture didn't really come through very clear. So I imagine some people were wondering, it's like, hey, why is she doing this?
Yeah, no, it's like, it kind of washed off though. I don't understand how that happened. That was a real life tattoo. I'm gonna get it fixed in January when I'm out there again. But tattoos are fun. Don't ever get a romantic partner's name though. I will never encourage that. I don't care how long y'all been together.
It's a good idea. I mean, my mom said earlier, it's like, when you've been together a significant amount of time, I would say play it safe. Just go with never on that one. Because even if it ends up being till death do you part, then you're going to end up crying every time you see your arm in the mirror.
Unless you're the first dead one.
Valid.
Lots of talk about dead people. So I have no problem with getting matching tattoos. I think those are super cute. I think it's fun when like squads of girls go and they like all get the same tattoo. I don't care that it's tiny and flashy and everything. I care that there's 5 girls that love each other enough that for that second they want to go do that. You know what? It's going to be a fun story. People grow up and they have serious jobs and they have serious life problems, and sometimes a bad tattoo is just a reminder of when you had the freedom to make bad decisions.
That's a fair point. I mean, and like I've said, I would never try to force anyone to not get a tattoo.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have talked people out of many tattoos. I have talked some people out of like some really like awfully idea tattoos, but we're talking like huge pieces that like may have been in on or around the face. Like they're
face tattoos generally not a good idea.
Yeah. So I guess I should put that caveat. Have fun with your tattoos in easily concealable spots. Like the tattoos you can see when I'm wearing, like I can wear pants and a t-shirt and you can't even tell that I have tattoos if I have closed shoes on. And that's all by design. But I do have blue hair and visible piercing, so I'm sure people assume I'm tattooed anyway. I don't know. I just, it's your body. It's the only one you're going to have. Have fun with it. Don't let anybody, like, we can tell you what we would personally do, but.
Oh, yeah. I already know what my tattoo, if I'm not going to say when, if I ever actually have the money to get it, is going to be. And it's basically my avatar. It's the image I've used on every forum and on Twitter for
the Daffy Duck.
God, going on like well over 12, probably about as long as you've known me. It's the Daffy Duck as the Green Lantern. Yeah.
That would be cute. That would be cute. You could get that done. You could get that done for like $200. Not very big.
Yeah, when have I ever had $200?
I'm just telling you that it's not like, it's not.
But yeah, I mean, there are people who know me, who know what I look like. They associate, when they think of me, they still think of that image. There are people, this is so sad. There are people who think that I drew that. And I'm just like, I wish.
See, I'm just so narcissistic. I've always used my picture.
I'm too self-conscious for that kind of thing.
I like looking at myself. I'm pretty.
Right. Oh, I heard a pop. I think that means we've actually got some comments already.
Oh, how do we see these? I've never actually looked at the live comments. Let's look and see. Oh, 0 comments. You lied.
I thought about my Squirtle tattoo for a total of 1 hour before getting it, and I have never regretted it. If nothing else, you can look at tattoos as art rather than looking at them as a representation of something. Okay, that's a fair point.
I love Squirtle. I think that would be an adorable tattoo. So, do you know anyone who's regretted a tattoo, Brian?
Not personally, not that I'm aware of. I know some people who've gotten their tattoos retouched, but that's not because they necessarily regretted it. It's because the person they got it from before did a bad job, and they had to go to somebody else to fix it.
So the 2 tattoos that I'm getting covered up are actually just some kanji characters I had. And a couple years ago, I kind of realized that I probably shouldn't have a language I can't speak tattooed on my body. So,
funnily enough, that also came up in the red versus blue video that my brother played.
Yeah. So, like, that was an ignorant mistake that I made when I was like 22. Like, I think they say what I think they mean, but like, it would. And do I regret getting them? I probably should have gotten something else. I guess that's, I don't know. I guess that's a regret. Regret's a weird word.
Oh, that's actually another good point for the 10-year rule. I'm not sure. I think it might be different from state to state. I think what age you're legally allowed to go into a tattoo parlor.
Anything.
Oh, well, by yourself. I mean, I think if you're younger, you can with a parent's permission.
Some states, the lowest state is somewhere in the Midwest. It's 15 with a parent. By the way, I would not sign for a tattoo for my kid before he turned 18. Absolutely not.
If you follow the 10-year rule at that point, like say just going off that Midwest state, you're going to be 25, and you're still going to be kind of dumb because we're all kind of idiots in our 20s. But you're going to be less of an idiot. So you'll be less likely to make a tattoo choice that you're going to end up regretting and having to spend a ton of money removing.
So let me tell you about a previous job that I had where I worked with guys who were getting out of long-term prison sentences and getting reacclimated into the community. So one of the biggest things that people were having done is tattoos covered up or changed or in any way altered because of these bad placements of tattoos. So I just think that I don't even judge people for getting, actually, funny story. Let me tell you about neck tattoos. I used to think neck tattoos were super just like gross and trashy, and I would never like them. And one of my friends was thinking about getting a tattoo, and it wasn't an actual neck tattoo, but he said that there would be a little like piece on his neck. So I started like, this friend's really hot. I think he's super hot. So I was thinking, like, would that make him not hot? Because I think they're trashy or whatever. So I had like this introspective day for like 2 days where I identified my own implicit bias in like very subtle racism and classism and why I had a problem with neck tattoos. And I basically talked myself out of like they're trashy and everything. It's just, it was looked at from a very privileged racist stance. But I don't want to be judged for my tattoos on my feet and my legs and everything in my hand. Then I don't really have any room judging neck tattoos. So, like, just a relevant, not what we're debating, but.
Yeah. Oh, one of the comments below says, I love tattoos, obviously, and I'm happy that I sat with my ideas for years before getting them. 10 years may be pushing it, but they definitely deserve some serious thought. This is permanent, and people will use it to define you or judge you.
Where are you seeing these? I'm not getting any notifications on them.
Maybe it's because I'm hosting.
I bet you it is, because I'm showing 0 comments.
Yeah. Oh, and that guy also says that being said, Arkle, get that tat sounds awesome, man. It's like, I'd love to. I mean, because that image, the green loon turn thing, I mean, that's kind of...
Green loon?
That is actually what it's called. It's over the years. It's just basically become a part of my identity, you know. It's like, okay, so we obviously don't agree on the 10-year rule and I've said it's mainly a matter of.
What about piercing?
Advice. I have no real strong opinions on piercings whatsoever. I know I'm not getting them.
Like, I've gotten a lot of last-minute piercings.
Tongue piercings just look kind of gross to me, but it's like, hey, you do you. Other than that, other than that, I have no strong opinions on piercings. Like,
do you think people should wait on them, or like?
It's a lot easier to, eventually, if you leave the metal out long enough, it's going to heal.
How many facial piercings I've had in my life? How many different ones?
Oh, I'm just going to say 5. Just pull a number out of my butt.
18.
Wow.
I've had like everything in my face pierced multiple times.
Well, I think
I would be bored and be like, I need to go get stabbed with a needle. That was how I occupy. I don't go and get myself stabbed with a needle unless I'm donating blood. That's actually another thing. It's maybe held me back a little bit on the tattoo thing is because I donate blood a lot. And depending on where you live, they make you wait 6 months to a year before you can donate again. So that's in most states, if you get your tattoo at a regulated tattoo shop, then there is a much smaller waiting period. Unfortunately, believe it or not, Nevada does not regulate tattoo shops. So, yeah, right. You got to do your own. You got to do like your own personal investigation on that.
Regardless if you're getting your tattoo like a week after you love something or 10 years after you love something, do your homework on where you're on the place you're going to get it.
Yeah, and also get them done in the winter so you don't miss out on summer sun and swimming because that's awful. No, Brian, after you get a tattoo, you can't have it in the sun or in really water for probably 6 to 8 weeks. So longer.
I knew a guy at Pizza Hut who was getting a tattoo, and he had to have Saran wrap around his arm before he went to the shower.
Yeah. So that's that, people.
Yep. And I think we should just close by saying that while we may not agree on the 10-year rule, I think presumably we can both agree, don't get tattoos of barbed wire around your arm. That's just douchey.
So there are, here's the thing. I want people to get those tattoos. If you think a barbed wire tattoo is a good idea, please get that so I know not to date you if that should ever come up. No, I'm married.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
No, that used to be one of my favorite jokes that I loved Ed Hardy because it just labeled the douches for me. It saved like 20 minutes of conversation. So, but again, like I have kanji tattoo on my lower back, so I don't have a whole lot of room. I am a douchebagette if we're going to talk about like those inappropriate.
Oh God! Now I'm remembering a time this guy came into the 7-Eleven I worked at with visible swastika tattoos.
Oh my God! Like, yeah.
And the majority of my
coworkers, you're a fucking
are
douchebag. Like, you're a fucking douchebag. I don't even care. There's nothing like debate me if you have a swastika tattoo and think that you're not a douchebag because I would love to hear that logic.
But it used to mean something else. It's like, yeah,
flip the other way, asshole.
Phrase used to.
Yeah. No, and the one they're talking about is flipped the other way. The Nazi swastika faces one way and the Hindu peace one faces the other. So whatever.
Yeah, and I think a lot of Hindus just don't use that peace symbol anymore just because it's like,
yeah,
Germans
like,
went and ruined it for us.
Thanks, asshole. We liked that. Oh, Lord.
All right. Well, I think we've said pretty much all there is to say on this topic.
Yes, and have a good day, guys. Yeah. We need a bit of closing, Brian. This is like so awkward.
I know. At least it's better than getting cut off mid-sentence because the timer ran out.
Truth. Shall we debate again soon on something silly or serious?
Certainly.
All right, we'll figure it out. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye.